everybody, trying something a little new today. The light's not super fantastic, but the background's better. Welcome to my Flosstube. I'm Amy of Amy J's Creations. This is Flosstube number 22 in the year 2022. All right, so let's just get right into it. This background here is a quilt I made several years ago. It's just the quilt top. I've never gotten around to quilting it. I really need to. It was years and years ago. I belonged to kind of a quilt round robin where each month or so somebody, I think it was once every 2 months, somebody chose a quilt block, sent us the material, or had us use scraps of our own and had us make a block and then send it all to that person. And this was one of the ones I chose. I sent some of my own fabrics and had them fill in with some of their own. And then got all these fun random heart squares, heart blocks back and sewed them together into that quilt. Yeah, so that's my background for today because it's a little more interesting and it's Valentine's season. Okay, let's just go into my whips now. The first thing that I have been working on is my 25/7. This is my hometown holidays. I went into a lot more detail last week on it, if you have any questions. And so here it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. All done. Well, not all done, but everything I have done so far. And then what I've been working on is, hold on, let me fold this. This thing is large and wieldy. It is the post office block. There we go. So there's the, let's see if I can get this slightly better. Okay. There's the cute little kid putting his letter in the mailbox, and then the tree and the building. Now I have not done the words and I haven't done the back stitch because I'm waiting until that whole row is done and then I will do all the row together. But I did start just today in my stitching on, oh good grief, Amy, get it together. It's not like you've been doing this for 22 episodes. The snow, and here I come a sneeze. Am I gonna? Okay. The snow for the next building, which is the Main Street station. So the train station for that. So keep plugging along. I will say I have a slight issue because I have 2 things of hickory sticks for that I bought in anticipation of using it throughout this thing. I started with the first group and it is much lighter. In the picture, it shows a much darker hickory sticks. And for the station, you're supposed to use hickory sticks again for the black engine. And that is like a sad chalkboardy black engine. So I may substitute actual DMC 310 for my engine, or I may do actually now that I think about it, I'm going to do a strand of 310 and a strand of hickory sticks. And yes, I understand that I will not give variation, but I want it to be a blacker engine. And so I think that could look kind of cool. So there's that. I'm making good progress. I'm very happy. And now my other stitch. So on my whip go board, this month was 5 and 19, and those happen to be both Star Wars pieces. So the first one, I'm going to just flash it here. From back here is this Darth Vader mask with the scene of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker fighting and the Death Stars in the background. Bits of it. All right, so I actually did not start on this directly on the 1st of February. I was still making my little Valentine hearts that I will show you in a minute, sweetheart candies. And I was having way too much fun with those. And I wanted to get them done because it's going to be Valentine's Day. And so I waited until the 5th and started, and I'll do 10 days on this. And my goal is then 10 days on the Yoda pattern. And I have to say, I am amazed at how much progress I got done since I've been working on it starting on the 5th. And so today is it's Thursday the 10th. It's Thursday the 10th. So I've only been working on this for 5 days. And I've gotten so much done. And partly that's because there is a lot of just all one color. I did like 3 or 4 rows. Then I stopped and put in a lot of the clouds to give me sort of, so I wouldn't have to count the black so often, or the background, bluish, purpley gray color. So then I can just fill that in while we were watching TV, and did this other like counting bit during the day. And so that is why I think I've gotten so much progress. I am a little concerned because these are only half stitches down here, and I'm slowly getting low on that color. I may have to pay the $2.50 for a skein of regular DMC that we pay here, because I want to finish this, and in 5 more days, I don't know. So how much further I'm going to get. I do need to finish this little cloud a little bit, and then just underneath that cloud is where Darth Vader starts in black. And so I think I'm going to move to doing the black of him tomorrow. I'll fill in some more of this tonight while we watch TV. And then see see how much color I have left. But I am loving this. I am absolutely so enjoying it. It's so cool. My son is super excited. He was like, Mom, who are you making that for? And I said, why, you're the kid who most appreciates the OG Star Wars movies. And he said, yes, I am. So he's very happy that I'm going to get that. And I have to thank a viewer. Shoot, I forgot to look up her name. I was going to look up her name. She recommended me again, and a few other people have before too, the stitch calculator thing on 123 Stitch. I've always been scared to use it because I was like, but what if I type in the numbers wrong? But I finally said, Amy, put on your big girl pants and learn something. So I put in the measurements. You will notice this fabric is cut. Not the big giant half-yard piece or meter piece I had last time. I went ahead and typed in the stitches, and it's on a 32 count, typed in that, and it gave me the measurements that I'm going to need. And so I took a deep breath and cut that fabric. And here's my cut fabric for the Yoda piece. So and it looks like it's gonna actually really fit. So I'm super excited. I feel very grown up, very mature. Thank you for the person who did that and encouraged me. I really appreciate it. That was very kind. All right, so I should have kind of done this in order, or done a better order, but let me show you. So why I didn't start until the 5th. Oh, shoot, there's a little, there we go. It's because I was busy making these little guys. Well, hold on, I have more here. Let me see if I can get them all in one. See that? Little hearts? Come here, you. Little candy hearts. Now this pattern is free on the Fat Quarter Shop website. And in that pattern, they only have the XOXO charted. But part of my favorite thing was all the silly phrases that were on it. It's a pretty easy font. And so I went ahead and made up some of my own sayings on the hearts. that I remembered from when I was little. I did use the same, that bright pink writing, because that was always what was so fun, is see these beautiful pastel colors of the hearts and then this garish pink of the writing. And I turned them into itty bitty teeny tiny pillows. They are not perfectly made because, let me tell you, it's tricky to sew around a heart shape that you can't totally see. Some of them I did better than others. Like this side is awesome, this side not so much. I covered up. So what I did is I sewed all the way around, and then I made a little like snip like this in the backing, flipped it inside out, then stuffed it, and have some little felt hearts that I glued on the back to cover that up. They are going to go into my tiered tray. I love them, love them, love them. And I encourage you to make some for next year. I could have done it like all in one row. I think that would be cute, like on a long, and framed them like on a long narrow frame. You could have made slightly bigger pillows, you know, like cut around a square and then added some cute stuff and made bigger pillows. But I really liked these little tiny ones. I wanted them to be little individual candies. So that is what I did. They were stitched on a 32 count Aida. So they are smaller. The chart calls for doing it on 28 count or 14 count Aida, and they will come out to 2.5 inches. I did it on 32 count Aida, and so they came out to like 1 3/4. So they're teeny, but they're super, super, super cute. Past finishes. This is not a cross stitch because I showed my past Valentine's cross stitches in my very first video, Flosstube. But this pillow was made with just random Valentine-y colored fabrics. I did embroider a heart here. I glued some, or not glued, I sewed some buttons on in a couple of places. And what I did when I made this is I literally just sewed some strips together, and then once it was all sewed, cut out a heart shape. Sewed this ruffle on, flipped it inside out. It's not perfect. It's just backed with plain pink. I believe this was might have been an old sheet. And yeah, it's kind of lumpy and bumpy, but it's super cute sitting on our reading room couch for Valentine's Day. Someday we'll have this quilt quilted to also go in our Valentine's Day. Okay, you guys, that's all my stitching because I've finished my little tiny hearts and I've been working on Yoda and my 25/7. But I do have some haul that I want to tell you about. So I follow Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery on Instagram. And they were like, hey, we have this free chart of this cute little cake slice, like for a birthday cake. And you can get it if you sign up to our newsletter for free. But that's the only way you can get it. So I was like, you know what? Some of their stuff is super cutesy, but I like this. This is cute without being over the top. And so I signed up for the newsletter and I got this free cake slice. And then I got this notification that they were like, hey, thanks for signing up for our newsletter. If you buy this in the next half an hour, you can get 5 charts. It was a bundle of 5 charts for $15. And I was like, including tax. I think it actually was like $14.79 or something crazy. And I, at first, was like, well, I was looking on their website trying to decide which ones I wanted. Couldn't tell, just kind of looking through what they had available. And then I saw this bundle. And in this bundle was the Which Better Have My Candy. And I was like, I have loved that stitch ever since I saw it on Java Girl Stitches. just the phrase, which better have my candy, just tickles my funny bone. And then in it, there was like a berry and spice chart. There's pumpkin spice. There's hugs and kisses for Valentine's Day. And then there was this lemon chart. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Why chart for less than $15? I jumped on that. I ordered those. They are not in my WhipGo plans, but at the end of February, I will have a couple of days, and I may whip up the Hugs and Kisses one. So I have to say, if you have not signed up for Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's newsletter, I totally would. I don't know if they do that for everybody. Send them awesome deals. There was also like a coupon code for your first big major order or whatever off. But I used that thing, a bundle. I thought it was fantastic. It was really great deal. Super cute charts. So yeah, go Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I do have a couple of shout outs that I would like to share of new stitchers that I have started following, and several of these are because they subscribed to my channel, and I got the notice that they had subscribed, and I was like, hey, I think they're on Flosstube too. So I went and looked them up, watched their first video. They were awesome, so I subscribed to them too. The first is Grace Notes Stitchers. It's a mother-daughter group. They also dye fabric. I didn't quite catch the name of their business for dyeing fabric, but they've showed pieces in their floss tubes that they have dyed, and they're gorgeous. It doesn't help me much because I'm not going to pay shipping from America to Switzerland, but for you guys who are in North American hemisphere, you should check them out. Gorgeous, gorgeous fabrics. The other one is Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. She's cool. And I went back and started watching some of her earlier videos, and she started out with a lot of knitting and crochet, and just every once in a while would throw in some cross stitch. And I think she still does knitting and crochet, but it has morphed into more cross stitch, which makes sense because isn't that what happens? You get sucked in and get obsessed with it because it's so fun, and there's so many new cute patterns coming out constantly. Yeah. So she's awesome. And then Stitching Granny of 17. She has 17 grandchildren. She makes quilts for them. She sews for them. She crochets and she cross stitches. She's got a lot of stuff going on, and lots of varied style of projects. Very fun. So those are my three that I am promoting, pimping. Do you guys remember that MTV show, Pimp My Ride? I used to love that show. I would watch it at like 2 in the morning when I was nursing a baby, and didn't have the brain power for anything that required actually paying attention. Most of the cars were just a magnet for thieves, I'm sure, once that they got finished pimping out. But it was amazing, the skill of the people involved, of what they could turn these cars into. Anyway, sorry. So those are the floss tubers that I'm promoting this week. And you guys, let's see, that's kind of it. This video is so short. What else has been happening that I can tell you about? We've all had a little bit of a cold. I think I mentioned that my son was sick 2 weeks ago, and that kind of turned into a sinus infection for him. And his cold he shared with us because he's a nice, kind, loving, sharing boy. Valentine's Day is coming up on Monday, and I always do a celebrate for my family. So we have raspberry soup in the morning. It's delicious. It's a cold soup. It's like pureed raspberries with cinnamon and some cranberry juice, and you mix in raspberry yogurt, and it's so good. And then I make heart-shaped pizzas for lunch, and then we usually just have sometimes I do like all red colored food for dinner. This year I probably will not, because I have to work actually at the library from 6 to 8 on Valentine's night, but I'll make a cheesecake that they can have for dessert. And it's the Super Bowl. And like, I wasn't sure that it was the Super Bowl this Sunday, but through my social media feed, I've discovered that it is. I'm not even clear on who is playing. And I think there's something about Snoop Dogg or Eminem performing in the halftime. Not clear on that either. But my daughter, my one child who actually leaves the house to go to school, of the 4 that live here, her ski vacation is starting. So in Switzerland, like almost every 6 weeks, they have vacation from school and they have 2 weeks off. So they have 2 weeks in February for ski vacation. And their school ski logger got canceled, which she wasn't even sure she wanted to go to anyway. But due to COVID, it got canceled. It's been canceled other years because of not enough snow. This year there's enough snow, but there's, COVID. And so she will have vacation starting on Monday, and so I think I'm going to let them stay up, whoever wants to, and watch the Super Bowl. And my other daughter is very excited. I said, should we do kind of like a Super Bowl party where we just make some fun American-style appetizer junk food to eat while you guys watch? She's super excited for that. So that's what we're going to be doing. We have to get up at like 4 a.m. to watch the Super Bowl live. Which I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that or not, but I may get up at like 6 for halftime and watch that with them. And otherwise, yeah, we're gonna hang out for 2 weeks vacation. We're not really going anywhere. We may go skiing as a family for a day or two here and there if the snow is good and they want to. But a lot of times my kids during vacation, they just want to stay home and relax and watch movies and play games and have an actual relaxation time, because she especially has been so busy in school. So we'll see. I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention, but I didn't write it down. I have been starting to write notes, but I don't have anything else in my notes. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much. I will see you again in 2 weeks. Bye. Cheese.